I'm Kristen,
And I'm Andrew.
and welcome back to the Brain Rack. This episode will be episode 2 on software, and we will be talking a little bit more on the OSs,
The
operating systems, not software, but it is still technically software.
And not operating.
Yes.
And introducing iOS 8. That'd be kind of silly.
You're right. Or the operating Windows 8.1. Anyways, let's begin.
We went over iOS, which was probably the most user-friendly for those who don't have a big experience on software, but still wants to get into all of
I would also say for those that don't want to edit their operating system a whole lot.
Sure, who just wants to kind of stay on the surface of just using a basic computer.
So if you're new to computers but still like to edit stuff a lot, iOS might not be for you, but you could definitely check it out.
Windows, which has a negative reputation of being the being not very stable operating system, but in recent years has, with more updates and better builds of their operating system, they've greatly improved their performance and their stability.
I would also say that they also have almost like an every other type thing. Like every other build is a good one. Almost.
Because it used to be, going way back, they had a reputation of like the first window of Microsoft Windows 1, and then they kept improving and building on it.
Yeah.
And then when 95 came out, it was like, wow, this desktop setup is really revolutionary and it's great. And then they took that to Windows 98, and then after Windows 98, 2000, and then there was kind of some Millennial Edition, which was not as broad and just kind of a reskinning and a kind of repasting of the same thing. And then you get to
Windows XP, I think?
Yeah, Windows XP, which was it last year or was it a couple years ago that they just recently discontinued the supporting of, because they wanted people to move on to the Windows 8 kind of layout.
Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, now Windows 10.
Yeah.
And I believe if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 8.1, you can get a free upgrade to Windows 10, which is awesome. And as I've stated, I have Windows 10. I like it.
So Windows XP was actually so revolutionary that it's actually still in some PC builds, like my folks' personal computer.
Yeah.
Granted, now that it's not supported anymore, if you turn it on and leave it on with an internet connection, some self-programmed viruses will work its way into it without you doing anything to it. Because they just kind of want to bury that old way, because it's very 2003. But when they discontinued the service for it, it was still about 20% of the business market's computer usage.
Oh wow!
That's what I heard on a radio segment. It was really interesting.
I bet.
Windows XP now is kind of a zombie of the Windows operating systems.
Anyways.
But after that, you kind of had a reskinning of Windows XP, kind of a beta version of what Windows Vista was going to be, called Windows Longhorn. And
we forgot Windows Vista.
Windows Vista was actually after Longhorn.
I didn't even know there was a Longhorn.
Windows Longhorn was a working up to of Windows Vista, and then after Vista came out, it wasn't the most stable operating system. Actually, some people may consider it the worst operating system. But they took.
I wonder if they changed their views now that Windows 8.1 or 8 came out.
It could be. I mean, they could be tied as far as the lower ones, but with the first service pack of Windows 8,
8.1.
making 8.1, it's been more stable.
That's why I changed it from 8.1 to 8, because 8.1's updated a lot. But another reason why people don't like Windows 8 is not just because of that, but I think from what I've heard, it's a lot of also the touchscreen without touchscreens. Touchscreen enableability without touchscreens.
Right. But going back to Windows Vista, they fixed everything that was of Windows Vista, and they re-released it as probably one of the best operating systems as Windows 10 up to Windows 7 up to that time, because they had the traditional layouts as you would with hardly with almost no bugs, a really easy layouts, a very traditional.
Still customizable.
Still very customizable, and quite a few great features.
Yep.
Then there was kind of this insurgence to more app-prone usage, which you were trying to get to with Windows 8.
Yeah.
You had a tile-based operating system with some touchscreen ability if you got a newer machine.
Yep.
But with your older machine,
you
would just use your mouse or keyboard.
Mouse or keyboard, yeah. But also, you can have a new build or an old build and still use it correctly with the touchscreen enability, as long as you have a touchscreen.
Sure.
And you could have a new build without a touchscreen, or you can have an old build with a touchscreen. It really depends on what your screen is. That's the thing that makes it touchscreen enabled.
If you have one or not.
Yeah. So there are some games too that have it enabled, like Civilization 5 actually has touchscreen enability. So you can actually play the game with touchscreen.
So you can be like, I want to rotate it like this, I want to zoom in like this, I'm kind of like this.
And do whatever. Kind of
sure.
One of my favorite games. Board game, definitely. Computer game, a little bit lower.
Sure.
But the Civilization board game is one of my favorite board games.
Which could be another topic of games. With Windows 8.1, it was kind of, it was good. Some people prefer just to be right on the traditional desktop of things, but
Windows 7.
Yeah, with the Windows 7 builds. Some people prefer the tiles. Windows 8.1 was okay. Pretty good. But now with a newest
Windows 10.
With Windows 10, because they skipped over 9 for some reason.
Do you know why? It's because Microsoft. This is what I believe they've said in public releases. Because of Xbox One, a couple different ones that's come out from Microsoft, they wanted to keep with that, but Windows 1's already taken.
Yeah, that was...
So they had to go with Windows 1.0, Windows 10.
Windows 10.
I believe that's what they released as the public declaration.
Sure. Now with
not of independence. Anyways.
So with somebody like
yourself. Here's what speculation has said. It's because Windows 9, whenever they tried to program it for that, they had issues. It kept wanting to go back to the Windows 95 or Windows 98 programming.
Oh, sure.
So they skipped it to eliminate that and just went with Windows 1.0.
Windows 10.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And the reason why I say Windows 1.0 is because Xbox One, stuff like that.
To stay consistent with the one theme.
Yes.
Now, for you having Windows 10, maybe you can pick it apart a little bit better than I could.
So with Windows 10, you have the ability to go with Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 layouts on the home screen a little bit more efficiently. It still has the... I should probably get into the area. It still has the what were they called?
Tiles, live tiles.
They still have the tiles on there, but you can set that up however you want. But still on the on the left side, you still have the like a normal start screen.
Sure.
Like the new apps, you have those things there. You also have the ability to paste into the app, into the tile location, your applications, which is really neat, I think. You can do files, folders, you can do files, you can do basically whatever you want. Kind of neat. And then with you also have the option to make it into a full screen. There you go. Full screen start menu.
Sure.
Which means it's the old 8.1 tile screen.
For those who have a preference towards one or the other.
Yep, or both. Because some people might like one at some points, others at another point, stuff like that.
Because I have Windows 7 and my girlfriend has Windows 8.1. I mean, they're both really good. I prefer 7 a little bit more because of the more traditional layouts.
But there's another point, you don't have a touchscreen.
Right.
I have not used it on a touchscreen as of yet. A friend of mine has 8.1 on the on his Surface Pro 2, and I like it on there. The only thing is, once I get a touchscreen up for my computer, I think I'll like that a little more.
Right, because it's more prone towards
a
touchscreen.
What I'd like to try to do is get a tablet to have my start menu and stuff on. So all I do is have my tablet like right here in front of me, my screen here, and then my keyboard here. So I'm typing here using a mouse on the main screen, and then whenever I want to open something up, I'll just do that and then keep going. And then have it programmed to open it in the
main.
I have the main screen, the tablet, hooked up wirelessly.
Yeah.
And then have the secondary screen, my tablet or my touch screen. No, my normal screen. Maybe a 4K screen. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Very large. 4K basically means 4096 by whatever. Whatever the other one is. Anyways, we can go into that later. And that's basically a build that I would like to do. Maybe with my personal, whenever I move out of your house.
Right.
Your parents' house, not your house. You don't have a house anyways. Nor do I. Anyways. So yeah, that's just some thoughts that I've had.
Looks like we already finished up this session.
Right, wow.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get into Linux.
Hopefully with the next episode.
Yes. We know a lot about Windows, I guess, so we kind of expounded a lot on that.
Yeah. Hopefully in the next episode we're gonna go a little bit into the iOS and then maybe some into the Linux.
Okay.
Region.
Well, the iOS I think we already did mostly last episode, from what the surface level stuff at least.
Sure.
So, anyways, please tune in next time, and we will continue talking about those OSs. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time, and have a good one.